I'm so proud to be here. I'm from the country, and it has been so hot where I live. There is not a single mosquito where I live, not a single mosquito. They're all married and have large families. We have an old fella in town, and he's been courting this widow lady. And this old fella got down on his knees, and he looked up in her eyes, and he says, I've got 2 questions to ask you. 1, will you marry me? And 2, will you please help me up? Our town character is Bubba, and Bubba is a real mess. They say Bubba has a biblical attitude on life because he can raise Cain whenever he's able. Oh, Bubba went to the doctor, and the doctor says, what seems to be the matter? And Bubba says, oh, my right leg hurts. And the doctor examined him, and the doctor says, well, Bubba, all it is, it's just old age. And old Bubba says, well, my left leg is just as old as my right leg, and it doesn't hurt. Brother and I rode the train not too long ago. We had a wonderful train ride up through the mountains, and Brother had never been on the train before, and they treated us real nice. They brought out a fruit basket, and the fruit basket had a banana in it, and I peeled the banana for Bubba, for Brother, and I gave it to him, and I said, have a bite. And so he had never eaten a banana before, and he took a bite of banana, and just then we went through a tunnel. It was a long tunnel. It got real dark. And then we finally came out of the tunnel, and I looked over at Brother, and Brother, he was so nervous. He was shaking, and I said, now, Brother, what's the matter? What's the matter? And Brother said, I took 1 bite of banana, and I went blind. We had a little excitement in town not too long ago. The FBI came through town, and they were going around to all of us people, and they were showing a picture of the 10 most wanted men. They kept going around and saying, have you seen their picture? Have you seen their picture? And we were all saying, no, we haven't seen any of these men. And he came around to Uncle Rufus and says, have you seen any of these men? We need these men. And Uncle Rufus says, well, if you need them so bad, why didn't you just keep them when you took their picture? We have a good preacher at church, and he counsels with people from time to time. And once there was this elderly couple that went to him, and they sat down, and the preacher said, well, how can I help you folks? Well, the wife started talking, and she was saying, now, Herman here never gives me any affection. Herman never pays any attention to me. Herman never kisses me. And she went on, and the preacher felt like he had heard just about enough. So he got up from his chair, and he walked over, and he gave that lady a great big hug and a big kiss on the cheek. And she said, that's what I need. That's what I need. And the preacher said, now, Herman, she's going to need that twice a week. And Herman said, okay, I'll bring her in on Tuesday and Thursday. Not too long ago, Bubba called me in the middle of the night in a whisper. I said, Bubba, what's the matter? And he whispered and said, I think there's somebody in my house. I said, well, Bubba, don't call me, call 911. And he said, what's that number? I think he finally did get a hold of the policeman, and they were able to send the K-9 unit over to see if they could help out. And Bubba looked out the window, and he saw a policeman and a leash holding the dog with a leash. And Bubba was looking out the window and saying, oh, great. They sent me a blind policeman. Bubba and his wife had a little baby, and I said, what did you name your baby, Bubba? And Bubba says, we named our baby Theophilus. And I said, Theophilus? That sure is an unusual name. Why did you name your baby Theophilus? And Bubba says, because I took one look at that baby, and that was the awfulest baby I'd ever seen. Bubba's wife was telling me that their house was so tiny and that she wanted a whole lot more space, so Bubba just up and locked her outside. Now, Anthony works at our little country store, and this lady came in, and Anthony was back there in the produce, and this lady walked up to him and said that she wanted half a head of lettuce. Well, Anthony dropped what he was doing. He walked all the way to the back of the store, and he said, some lady out here wants half a head of lettuce. And unbeknownst to Anthony, that lady had followed him all the way to the back of the store, and she happened to overhear that he said, some old lady wants half a head of lettuce. And Anthony turned around and saw her and said, and this pretty young thing wants the other half. You've been a wonderful audience. I've enjoyed being with you today and hope to see you soon. Take care.